And then at some point in the near future, when the time is right, they will build a nuclear weapon.
This video is going super viral. This is probably the most viral video on the internet yesterday. This is Marco Rubio in 2015 talking about Iran.
Of this deal have already been said. I do want to be recorded for history's purposes before I know what is going to happen in regards to this if it goes through. Iran will immediately use the money that it's receiving in sanctions relief to begin to build up its conventional capabilities. It will establish the most dominant military power in the region outside of the United States, and it will raise the price of us operating in the region. They're going to build anti-access capabilities, rockets capable of destroying our aircraft carriers and ships, continue to build these swift boats that are able to come on us, these fast boats that are able to swarm our naval assets. And they'll make it harder and harder for U.S. troops to be in the region. They'll also work with other terrorist groups in the region to target American servicemen and women. And they may or may not deny that they're involved, but they will target us and raise the price of our presence in the Middle East until they hope to completely pull us out of that region. They'll also continue to build long-range missiles, missiles capable of reaching the United States. Those are not affected by this deal, and they'll continue to build them as they've been doing. And then at some point in the near future, when the time is right, they will build a nuclear weapon. And they will do so because at that point they will know that they have become immune, that we will no longer be able to strike their nuclear program because the price of doing so will be too high. This is not just a work of imagination. It exists in the world today. It's called North Korea, where a lunatic possesses dozens of nuclear weapons and a long-range rocket that can already reach the United States. And we cannot do anything about it. An attack on North Korea today would result in an attack on Tokyo, or Seoul, or Guam, or Hawaii, or California. And so the world must now live with a lunatic in possession of nuclear weapons. And this is the goal Iran has as well, to reach a point where they become immune to any sort of credible military threat because the price of a military strike would be too high.
Isn't that wild? Because we could have shown you that video and said that that is what Rubio said yesterday in explaining why we did it. But 11 years ago, he was explaining that there is a threshold you get to. You attack countries when they're weaker. Had we waited until they had a nuke, the price becomes way too high. We don't know what they're going to do with that nuke. We don't know if they're going to put it on a missile. We don't know if they're going to allow it to create a dirty bomb that can get into our country and everything else. That was 11 years ago. I also love the fact, I mean, he's just so damn good that he said, I want this recorded for history's purposes. He wanted people to know that way back then, and he was a senator from Florida, this is way before he ran for president or anything else, he wanted people to know that he was going to be on the right side of this. Here's a little bit more from that speech.
Iran is led by a supreme leader who is a radical Shia cleric with an apocalyptic vision of the future. He is not a traditional geopolitical actor who makes decisions on the basis of borders or simply history or because of ambitions. He has an religious apocalyptic vision of the future, one that calls for triggering a conflict between the non-Muslim world and the Muslim world, one that he feels especially obligated to trigger. And he's going to possess nuclear weapons. This is the world that we are on the verge of leaving our children to inherit. Iran may have a supreme leader, but America does not. In this nation, we have a republic. And soon we will have new leaders, perhaps in this chamber, but also in the executive branch. And I pray that on their first day in office, they will reverse this deal and reimpose the sanctions and back them up with a credible threat of military force, or history will condemn us for not doing what needed to be done at this critical moment in the world's history.
You know, it's so interesting. Every day on the show, we show you like politicians flip-flopping on things, or that's what they said then and this is what they're saying now. It's usually, usually I do it with Democrats. The Democrats of 20 years ago are just saying the same things that Donald Trump is saying now, or just constantly we can show you the hypocrisies and everything else. Isn't it pretty damn refreshing to hear a politician who 11 years ago was saying literally the exact same thing? So it is not a coincidence that that guy, Marco Rubio, who's saying the exact same thing 11 years ago that he's saying now, is working for Donald Trump, who we've shown you many videos of the course of the last 40 years, has been saying the exact same thing as it comes to Iran and many other issues.